Hi, I'm Gareth Marlowe. This is one of a set of 5 videos on the reasons that scale-ups can stall. And today's reason is too little continuous improvement. So it's very common for us to kick off initiatives at work and never really go back to look to see how well they're doing. In the scale-up phase of an organisation, what we're usually looking for is repeat motion. Okay, so we're trying to find consistent ways of finding and converting new customers, consistent ways of supporting their needs, and to be able to do this in a way which is effective, does what the customer needs, but is also profitable for us to execute, and ideally increasingly profitable as we scale. But there's so much in what I've just sort of said which is unknown at the start. So you might start off with a good idea of what you need to do, but it's only that, it's an idea. So unless you are frequently going and inspecting to see how well that thing is working, and using the insight that you get on that inspection to improve the way that you're operating, there is a good chance that you might start off fairly close to what you need to achieve, but over time the gap between what's most effective and what you're actually doing can widen and widen. The other thing that can happen is that what your customers need and the way that you're going to attract and convert those new customers might gradually shift over time. So what's working for an early cohort of customers or users might not be valid or so valid subsequently. So you've kind of continually got to keep these things in check and make sure that they are working well and tune them and tweak them. So unless you've got a sort of booked into the diary series of events where you're going and looking and seeing how well things are working and looking for opportunities to make things better, you're missing out on a big chance to continue to drive growth. Indeed, if you don't do this, gradually the momentum can slow down and peter out, and so your growth can level off as a consequence of the fact that you just kind of gradually out and fit. So I'm thinking about this in the context of this weekend coming up. I'm going to be travelling up to northwest of England to take my daughter to some university open days. Now I know what time I'm going to meet her at the station at the destination, and I've got a good idea what time I need to set off from here in Cambridge to be able to meet it on time. But continually as I go, I'm going to be keeping my eye on Google Maps to make sure that I'm on schedule, that there's no traffic building up in front. I'm going to be continually listening out for messages from her as she updates me on her journey. And I will use all of this information to course correct and sort of figure out, how long have I got to take a break? Do I need to go a slightly different route, and so on and so forth? If I didn't do that, then there is a chance that I could get where I want to go in time and for that to be correct, but there's also a pretty good chance that the situation may have developed or new things might have happened that I need to take into account along the way. So hopefully that's a way of understanding just really how important that continual improvement mindset is for any scale-up organisation to keep your growth in check. The last thing to say is that you may well find that your development teams are doing this already. It's an inbuilt part of all really conventional software development methodologies is continuous improvement, sprint retrospectives, those kinds of things. But these things are not just for engineering, okay? These things are applicable right across your organization, commercial functions, in back office functions, and not least for you and the leadership team. So unless you and your leadership team are sitting down regularly, and by regularly I mean at least once a quarter, to look at what's working, what isn't working, which things are fitting, which things are maybe not fitting so well, and making corrections and tweaks along the way, there is a good chance that this might contribute to your growth stalling. That's it for today. I'm Gareth, and I will see you in the next video.